Hello and welcome to Verbal to Visual. Today I would like to share with you the story of how I became a Sketchnote educator. I always find it interesting to hear how others have made their way into the world of sketchnoting, so I hope you enjoy hearing my story with the help of my friend George Mahaly, on whose podcast I shared these broad strokes. I had a lot of years where I kind of bounced around for a little bit, so after undergrad, even the last 2 years of undergrad is when I feel like I began the bouncing around process that only recently I feel like I've settled into a little bit of a sweet spot, hopefully, and excited to keep going from here. But my junior year, I studied abroad in Ecuador, which was an amazing experience. That's part of where the language learning stuff will come back in. Mm-hmm. Senior year, came back and my kind of primary major in college was physics, but I had such a blast in South America and I loved language development that I kind of had to decide, okay, after undergrad, do I want to go into physics? Do I want to do something with language learning? Ended up going the physics route right away, entered a PhD program in Boston, went to Boston for a year, quickly realized that was not the right fit for me, did not want to spend 7 years on that path, even though I liked, what I liked about the idea of getting a physics PhD and then becoming a professor is the combo that you get with that of being able to teach, which by that point I knew that I enjoyed the world of education and teaching. You could teach, but you could still do research. And that combo appealed to me quite a bit. But didn't work out. Wasn't, within that first year, I kind of realized that didn't quite fit. Ended up dropping out of that program, moved back to Oregon. That's when I started the grad program in teaching. Mm-hmm. Really enjoyed that. I think I kind of lucked out on the program that I went to. I went to Pacific University, their grad program, but they're a Eugene campus. They have one out in Forest Grove, not too far from us. But a small cohort down in Eugene of middle school and high school teachers getting their degrees together and doing some specializations. So I got certified to teach high school physics, math, and English language learning. Started going down that path. I didn't pursue a job right away, right after that, because I had a pretty intense student teaching experience. So I knew that I had to get my feet wet a little bit, and substitute teaching is a great way to do that. Mm-hmm. Did that in Eugene for about half a year, then moved up to Portland because that's where a lot of my high school and college friends had kind of made their way up here, kept substitute teaching up here, but kind of realized that a full-time high school teaching gig didn't feel like the right thing for me to jump into, for a variety of reasons. Some of the things that aren't great about the way that school systems work. Also, just my personality being as much of an introvert as I am, how much there's to overcome to step in front of 100, 150 students a day and bring that energy with that regularity and consistency is such a hard job. And which is why all of our teachers should be much better compensated for the work that they do. So again, okay, not quite the right fit. And it was at that point that I started looking for some other creative skill to develop. Speaking of visual memories, I distinctly remember the coffee shop I was in and where I was sitting when I stumbled upon a TED Talk by Sonny Brown called Doodlers Unite that opened me up to this world of sketchnoting and graphic recording. And it's because of her TED Talk that I kind of went down that rabbit hole and decided, okay, I'm going to start a blog about this skill as I try to develop it and just share what I'm learning. And that's what started me down this path and eventually brought education back in and started teaching that online once I felt pretty good about my own skills there. So it's a rough outline of the trajectory. So this here is how I came to teach the skill of sketchnoting, and I don't plan on stopping. There are too many interesting applications that I'm excited to continue exploring. If you would like to develop your sketchnoting skills, then check out the educational resources that I've developed, linked down below. I hope that this skill is as impactful on your career path as it has been on mine. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Until then.